Welcome, 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 everyone. Just give us one moment and we are getting ready to get started. And boy, oh boy, do we have a treat for you all tonight. Just give us another moment or two. All right. So, once again, great evening, great evening, and welcome to the Sonya Dungee podcast episode. If you find value tonight, or if there's relatability, an aha moment, or a breakthrough, please say so in the comments. Also, we would love to know your geographic area in which you are tuning in from. So please put that in the comments as well so that we can shout you out. So, here on the Sonya Dungee podcast, episode number 228, I am your host, Sonya Dungee. And yes, of course, now the TikTok street. Tonight is about resilience, it's about leadership, it's about becoming unstuck when life tries to cement your feet in place. Joining us is a woman who doesn't just talk about impact, she lives it. Barbara ACOBE is a pillar in the community, a leader who shows up when it's inconvenient, a voice that uplifts when the world feels heavy, a woman who understands that greatness isn't born from ease, it's forged in pressure. Through her community work, her leadership, and unwavering commitment to service, she reminds us that even when the world is challenging, we are not powerless. We are powerful. Barbara ACOBE, welcome to the Sonya Dungee podcast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And besides the tidbits that I shared, making sure not to tell it all, who are you exactly and what do you do?
Well, I am a citizen in my community. I've been here for a long time. I was born and raised in this area in South Carolina, and I help anyone that needs help in the community by just a phone call away. They will tell me what they need, and I will make sure that they get it taken care of. I work hourlessly. My phone is always on. I never turn a call away. I never turn a person away. I never turn a family away because you never know how your blessings are going to come back to you. So I make sure that I am available at all times to help all those that are in need. And that's what I do. I am a pillar in the community that help those that need help and want help. And I will always be that individual that they can call on at any time of the day or night because I'll do the best that I can to fulfill their needs and what they're wanting to get accomplished.
Wow. That's a whole lot there. Sounds very familiar. It sounds like it is a line. We're going to get into that in a little bit. So, I purposely did not tell them a lot about you, but I know that you had sent me your information some time ago. And for those who feel like Barbara looks familiar, yes, you are absolutely correct. She came on a couple of weeks ago and she narrated her mom, which is a legend in her own right during Black History Month. And so I felt compelled to ask her to come back again because she has an amazing story of the work that she does in her community. And when I said bloodline, yes, because she is also a Dungee and I'm so proud of my queen. And so therefore I want to share her with the world. So Barbara, so what exactly have you done in your community? You're being quite modest. I know your accolades, but I would like to share that with the world.
Well, I worked at a company for about 43 years, and in that company, I helped develop what we would call a department to help those in need. And that department still exists. And a lot of the clients I met along the way, they are still in contact with me to this day. If they need help with anything, be it rent, be it utility, housing, food, they know that they could pick up the phone and call me. And if I don't come out of my pocket physically and do it, I resort to outside agencies in the community that I know that will be an asset to the customers. And that's what I do. I have a family that has adopted me. They call me their daughter because they know that they could call me at any time of the day and I will be there for them. And to this day, they still do it. And I don't mind, and I love them too, and I take them as my family. I've done so much in the community to help so many people in need, especially children. I love being able to help children that are in need by providing things that they need to help acclimate their life and make it easier for them and their families. So, yes, I do a lot. I don't talk much about it because a lot of things that you do, you don't need to be highlighted or showcased for it. Let the works that you do show for you. And that's what I believe in. I let the works that I do show for me. I don't have to go out and broadcast it, but the people in the community know me and know what I do. And I try to follow the legacy of my mother by being there for those who are in need when they need you. You know, sometimes we may have to go in our pockets and pull out some funding, but you never know how you will get that blessing back. It may not come directly to you, it may come to
Yes.
someone close to you in your family. God doesn't have a specific way of sending blessings, but they do come. And when you get them, you're like, I know it was God. It was God that blessed me to be able to do what I do because I know He always has my back in what I do.
Absolutely, and that is so true. But I do respect that 100%. But there's things that you have said to me that I was in complete awe about. Like, for instance, when you were on a couple weeks ago and you spoke about your mom and her leadership in the community and civil rights leader, and tied into Jesse Jackson. Um, God rest his soul. He has recently
Yes,
passed away, as we all know. But
yes.
you were a pillar in the community, and you um, knew Jesse Jackson. Is that correct?
I met him one time through my mother. Yes, I knew him and I met
Hmm.
him that one time, and he was an amazing person. He spoke very well, and he gave me that ability to want to look out for others and do the best that I could to help those that I felt was being fairly not approved of. By saying that, I can tell you this story. I
Hmm.
started out in a place where I was the third person that looked like me to start off in this organization. And the people that were there before I came on board, they decided to leave
Wow.
because they just couldn't deal with what was going on. But I went through it. I prayed and I asked God to give me the strength and the courage to carry myself through because I didn't want to leave. I felt it was in my best interest to stay. So I fought the battle. I ran the race and I came to the end. And I am so glad that I stayed and I stuck it through because a lot of times we will let situations or people change the path that God has chosen for us. And we can't give up so easily. We have to stay in there and we have to fight for what we believe in, especially when it comes to providing for ourselves and our family. We can't let someone put us in a position where we just say, I give up. No, that's not God's intent for us. He wants us to be there. He wants us to continue that fight. And that's what I did. I stayed where I was for 43 years and I went through a lot, but I stuck in there. And sometimes people, when they get in a position, especially when they look like you and I, they feel like they're above you, but they don't realize that's temporary. If it's not intended for you to have it, God will take it away. And what's for you, you will get. So yes, I fought that battle for years, but I stuck in there because I knew it was in my best interest to be there. And I sat there for 43 years and I finally retired. But during the course of my run, I created a lot of friends. I met a lot of wonderful people. And to this day, those people are still a part of my life and they know the battle that I fought because a lot of them were right by my side. And that fight opened the door for a
Yes,
lot of
and
people who looked
actually,
for me. I'm sorry. And as I was saying, that door that I opened the door
and
for a
Barbara,
lot of
I'm
people.
sorry, no, that's okay because it's like a slight delay, so that's fine. Um, I'm reading the comments, and just so that you know, and this is a first for me because most of the time I don't see the comments as they come through, honestly, on YouTube. However, tonight we have Ricky Patterson. I went to college with your mom. There's a person on here who's validating you, and let me go above that because there was some more in the beginning. Uh, Angela, um, we have Washington D.C. in the building, telling you welcome. We have Jacksonville in the building off the beginning. So just wanted to tell you that. And you mentioned something. You mentioned something about being stuck. They're stuck in their system. They're stuck in systems. They're stuck in grief. They're stuck in uncertainty. From your leadership journey and community work, what does it really take to move forward when the world feels like it's pushing back?
It takes prayer. It takes your knowing your walk in life. It takes having a relationship with God and knowing that He wants the best for you. And He will give you the strength that you need for the journey that you're on to make sure that you get to the road that you need to be on and stay on. He provides that to us. We sometimes feel like we have no way to turn or no way to go, but there's always God that's there. He's always listening. He's always by your side. And He puts people in our lives who can be an asset to us. It just sometimes picking up the phone and calling and just expressing to them what's going on. And it's always somebody you should be able to trust to share that information with, because not everyone in your life is your friend. So you have to be careful who you communicate with and make sure you go to God first, and God will show you who you can turn to and share that information with. And that's the best advice that I can give anybody, because God is always there when
Yes,
man isn't.
absolutely. I want to thank you for that. And I hope you viewers are really paying attention and you're taking notes because this is a God fearing woman right here, Barbara. And she's giving us the perspective of faith, and she's giving us the perspective of resilience. And there's so many aspects of Barbara that I would just love to share with you, but time won't permit. But this woman right here, this queen, this beautiful queen that she is, I just want to and let me tell you, social media is really just going. I'm getting Miami has joined us, Miami, Florida. You know that's right. God is always there. Oh boy, amazing advice, Barbara. But I want to go back to something, very sound advice. They're still coming through, but I just want to pop off there because it was something that you sent me. Um, and I've seen it for myself, but when I asked you for a picture, it popped up again. So God is good. And there was a reason for that when you sent me this specific picture. So I am doing my best to find that right now. Let's see, because that's where I took the picture from. Hmm. One moment. Still trying to pull it here. Let's see. Hmm. Did you send that to me on? Oh, wait a minute. I think I know where you sent it. One sec. Let me
Okay.
just come off here to go into, because, like I said, I know otherwise I'm not going to be able to get you to. I'm not going to be able to um, have you talk about it. I'm going to pull it up myself. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Why isn't, let's see, for some reason, I'm telling you that me is something else because I can't find what you sent me, and that is so strange. So I'm going to one more place. If not, I'm just going to have to ask you to talk about it as much of it as you want to. Yep, it will not show it to me. Okay, so you recently ran for a position, and I'm sure we all would like to know, what was your reasoning for doing that? Because that was a bold move and that was something that really needed to be done. And I am extremely proud of you for that. But do you care to talk about that somewhat?
Of course I do. I worked for the company for 43 years, as I told you. And I felt that there needed to be a change because of some of the things that I witnessed when I was there. And I figure I could be that change because I've worked there for so long. I saw so many things. And there were a lot of things that I felt needed to be addressed that wasn't being addressed. And I felt that I could accomplish that by running for the office. Unfortunately, I ran against an incumbent and I lost. It wasn't a large loss, but I did lose nevertheless, to say I did. But I think because I started late in the game, I couldn't really put myself out there like I should have. Had I started earlier, I probably would have gotten more votes. I think I ended up with about maybe 4,500 people that actually came out and supported and voted for me. And I was happy with that. As I said, if I started earlier, I probably would have done better, but there's always another day and another chance. And my sentiments are the same. We all are put here for a reason and a season. And I'd like to see changes made for the growth of the company. Not that they haven't, but I'd like to see additional growth and additional things that are done to just make it better. I still get calls, as I said now, currently from people that encounter situations, and they just ask me for advice on how they should proceed with different things. And I try to make sure that I give them the best recommendations for how they need to uh, attend or attract certain things that happen in their lives. And again, if they need help with utilities and stuff, where to direct them to get that help, to make all that information accessible to them so that they need it and they could share it with other people throughout the community. So I wanted to be able to be that woman that made a difference in the lives of everybody that deals with the company, because we provide an exceptional service to the community. We're the only ones in the Tri-County area that does it. And I wanted to keep it going that way. And I felt that I would be a great asset, and I think I still am. I may not have the title, but I still do the job. Now, one thing I will say to you, I want to pay a tribute to a lady that was an exceptional person in my life, and her name is Christine Jackson. She just died last week, and she was very instrumental in my life. She was the first person to give me my job when I was a teenager. And she gave me words of wisdom. She brought me on board and she said, I want to be an asset in your life because I can see that you are a wonderful young lady. And she brought me on as a camp counselor to work with young people. And I was so excited to get a job at 16 years old. And I was a camp counselor working with younger children. And I loved it so much. And Miss Jackson was such an amazing woman. She was a strong woman. She was a courageous woman. And she stood by my side until adulthood. And she approached me one day and she said, you know what, Miss Barbara, I almost raised you like your mom and your dad. And I want you to serve on my board. And she was the director of the YWCA in Charleston for, I believe, over 30 plus years. She was an excellent woman and someone that I just wanted to pay tribute to tonight because she meant so much to me and she was so courageous. And she made sure when I became an adult that I got on that board of directors and I did my due diligence to do all I could to help make it an even better organization. And she will always be loved and never ever forgotten because she did so much for so many people. And I could not go on tonight without acknowledging the special woman that she was, and for everybody to know that she will dearly be missed by a lot of us in the community.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And it's things like that that makes a difference when you have a leader that can show you the right way. That makes you go in a different direction in your life to be just like that person because you want to make a difference in people's lives. You want people to know that there is another side of life that's great. And all that person needs to do is just
Mhm.
step in there and show you what it's all about. Have that conversation with you, take you by your hand, and show you the right way to go. And sometimes it's right to the altar, right to the first part of the church where you kneel on your knees and you do your Our Father prayer because you know without a doubt God is there and He will take you through. No matter what it is, He will be there for you.
Wow. Well, I'm speechless, but I'm not never that speechless to a point where I respond with something. But felt your dedication to Christine Jackson. So thank you, Christine Jackson, for um, all that you did for this beautiful queen right here, in helping to uh, put her in the position that you did. And I want to, because like I said, this is a first. It's always forward. So true. Those are the things that create legacies. And now I got to go over here because I'm like, wow. Let's see. You know that that is right. God is always there. Let's see. Yes, Barbara, be the change you want to see. Failure is the catalyst for success. Lincoln lost at least once before he finally became president. Keep trying, you will eventually succeed. Miss Christine Jackson, eternally rest in peace, rest in power. I love that. I don't hate the title, but I still do the job. A lot about you. Thank God for Christine Jackson. May she rest in peace. So we're
Yes.
getting all these comments here. Um, we on all three social media platforms. So I want to thank you for that as well, everyone. Um, I see that the value that you've received from this, and I'm when I thought I knew a lot about you, there was something else to be learned. So thank you so much for that. Um, I also want to say thank you to your amazing husband, the backbone, in all that you do. I know from our conversations and things that, we always have to think and give accolades to that person that is our backbone, because we might not always be present and available for them because we're in the community being present and available for others that are in need. And I know at times it may seem as though we care less, so we don't give as much attention to our loved one who is backing us up. But that just makes us respect and love them even more, because it takes a very unselfish person to be able to do that. So we want to thank you. Thanks to your husband, and we don't want to ever leave him out because it's important. I know for myself that for quite some time, I gave the impression that I put others before my family or the community, or I did so much and they didn't understand like they understand today. And I never quite thanked them and thought of them. I just assumed and I guess took for granted that they understood. So I
Yeah.
wanted to definitely give his flowers for that. Thank you so much. Um, moving on to wow. Um, I'm just cheesing over here. I really am. And my sister is on here as well. And I see she's feeling the same. She's putting big letters. She's the one that talked about her loving that I don't have the title, but I still do the job. Bless you. So she's cheering from the sidelines as well. My sister, Coach Dawn Allen. So thank you all for being on here tonight. But Barbara, I want to thank you so much because you shared your story, and it was tied to not allowing for yourself to be stuck, because you could have allowed for that to happen and you wouldn't have gotten to where you are today, because
Yeah.
even though you're retired, you're still so much into the community. and
Yeah.
and I know people are calling you all hours of the day or the night for help, because they can trust you and
Yes.
respect you and know that you're not going to turn them away. So
Right.
I want to again give you your flowers for that, because once we've got set in our ways and we've removed ourselves from work and we've retired, we tend to at times, not everybody, but we have that tendency to want to be a little bit more selfish and want to travel and
Mhm.
do things, and you don't have time. But in
Mhm.
your case, it's just the opposite. So I
Right.
want to thank you so much, and I want to really emphasize that, because it's a lot to always keep your phone on and always answer it no matter what. That's so important. It's so important that we as a community, we stick together and uplift
Yeah.
one another, regardless if
Yes.
we're tired or if it's late at night or early morning. It's important,
Yes.
especially in this day and in these times.
You are so
So thank
correct.
you for that. And I'm getting, yes, people, thank you, Sonia and Barbara. God bless both of you. Yes, thank you so much. God bless you for being appreciated. Keep doing your thing. You know it. Absolutely. Thank you. And I hope this isn't your first time. Keep coming back every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So, as we go in for closing today, um, I want to, Barbara Kobe reminded us that God greatness is not about perfection. It's not. It's about being persistent and having that courage. So tonight we choose to move, we choose to color our world, we choose to nix, fix, and mix in 2026. We choose to become unstuck. So, as always, here on the Sonya Dungee podcast, we say no to limitations so that we can color, grow boldly, and walk in greatness. And so, with that being said, before we close, Barbara, I want you to end us with this. Please complete the phrase, be always destined for blank.
To always be blessed to help those in need.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said that better myself. And for those of you who missed it before, I'm going to say it again. So, Barbara is my cousin. We speak pretty much, a couple times a week or at least a couple times a month. And I see you. I want to thank you because you always support the Sonya Dungee podcast. You support me. I always see your little messages. I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing the Sonya Dungee podcast tonight with your friends, your coworkers, your family, because I see that they're on here and they're giving love for you.
Thank you.
But this is not the end. For the ones that you shared tonight, I hope that you continue to come. Next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., I am doing a free masterclass. Again, it's 100% free, no strings attached. It's about becoming unstuck and it's about moving forward. So if anybody's interested in joining the masterclass, please DM me or text me and I will send you the link. It will be live tomorrow, but you'll have first dibs at grabbing a seat. And also, for those that are on these different platforms and for the first time joining, I ask that you comment, you like, and that you share. Sharing is important because you never know if somebody is in need of
Yeah.
something that is being said. And I didn't share my story before, so I'm going to say it briefly now. I was stuck. I was stuck for 342 days after my dad's unexpected passing. My dad was the love of my life. He was my confidant. We spoke about anything and everything, and I do mean everything. Things that I didn't want to hear that my dad was talking about, and things that I otherwise might have been uncomfortable speaking to my dad about, but he listened without judgment, and we shopped and
Mm.
talked and did everything together. So when we were told 48 hours before, it was myself and my dad in the room because I do have siblings, but they were in other states and other countries, that my dad had 6 months to live, and that came from left field. I found myself less than 48 hours at his bedside holding his hand in the middle of the pandemic on a Saturday morning, frigid cold outside. I had others in the room, but they didn't allow but two. And my daughter, who was in the medical field, she was Zooming, and it might sound more some, but when you have loved ones across this nation and other countries and unable to get to New York fast enough, that was a way of to say goodbye to my dad. And so
Yes.
holding his hand and looking into his face, not wanting to be there, not wanting to hold his hand because I was in denial. I saw a cheek come down. I saw a tear come down his cheek. And it was at that moment that he took his last breath here on this earth, knowing it was his first breath in heaven. I spiraled out of control immediately. I didn't do drugs or anything like that, but I just isolated myself. I had three beautiful grandchildren. I now have four. I wasn't spending any time with them because I was in the house isolated. I didn't want to speak to anyone. I didn't want to see anyone. I had lost a lot of weight rapidly,
Ah,
and I work from home and to this day to still do so. So it was a matter of very limited self-care and self-love. Getting up in the morning, doing the bare minimum, showering, throwing on whatever, walking across the living room into my shishi room to do my 7.5, 8 hour bid, whatever it was I was assigned to for the day, shutting down at the end of the day, of the day, going back into the room and shutting the door. And I did that for 342 days. I could get because I felt a sense of closeness. My dad's ashes were behind the Calabarium wall at Calverton National Cemetery. That's all I was doing. I didn't realize that I lost so much weight. I didn't realize that people were realizing what I was doing, but I thought I was just keeping to myself because I knew that others were grieving in my family and even my friends. And I didn't want them to have to grieve more or worry about me. So I thought I was hiding it. But when enough became enough and I couldn't do it anymore, and I knew that God left me here for a purpose, I didn't die. My dad went to be with the Lord. There was so much more of me that I had inside to share with others. So as a result, I got it together. My perspective shifted. I sought out a loving community that came along when I found my mentor, which is my mentor, my coach, my brother. I mean, all of that he has become. And as a result of him in the community and being attentive and showing up for class and never missing any to this day, I am now this transformational coach. And I get to help others that are suffering in silence the way I was. I get to help them that are ready to move forward, go from being stuck to achieving their goals and dreams. I'm just summing it up quickly. And that's what this masterclass is for. That's free. And that's why I show up, and we're at podcast number 228. And it's not to pat myself on the back. It's just to share the fact that I didn't have this. I didn't know I could go to a podcast. I didn't know that it was okay to not be okay. But it's not okay to stay not okay.
Right.
And so, Barbara, you have helped us today with this as well. And if there's anybody out there that you can relate to that's going through what I've gone through or can relate to today's message, please share with them this podcast because
Yeah,
it's
I will.
important. And as Barbara said, thank you. But as Barbara said, no matter what, she's there to uplift and support the community, no matter the case. If she can't do it personally, she's gone into her own pocket to help people in the community, or she's
Yes.
referred them to people that could help her.
Yes.
And thank you so much for that, Barbara, for that. You keep doing what you're doing, that no matter the circumstances, you can uplift and you can support and you can lean on a community.
Oh, yes.
So, with that being said, be safe, stay well. God bless you all, and bye for now.